Here's a topological model in crisis. Originally, my first context is this. I was sitting in the truck at lunch and playing through the radio. Usually I like to listen to music, whatever's on there, old rock, new rock, country rock, roll, whatever songs I got 30 minutes that I want something, I click the button. And there's a few religious stations out where I'm camped for the radio signals coming in. Go figure. Well, calculus. You'd get used to it, or at least how to adapt to live into the sunshine in that field. And at any rate, it comes up in the neighborhood. Oh, the guy was talking about using Jesus as your defense attorney, going to the judge, and literally this was the words that this preacher on the radio, or moral license carrying concealed snake handler, is going to tell me I got to go to Jesus, I got to go to the judge. With Jesus was my attorney. Let's use Jesus as the standard model, obviously. The electron, it's a Feynman diagram in a book of Bernoulli's, different variances of fixing the blind and teaching cripples to walk and doing the broken back stone mill guy, hitting the button, he's still Larry and he's smart and his hands still work and figuring shit out without shooting him in the face on the herd for Glue Factory. That's a different book. I mentioned this a lot. I said it on the 5. Is it possible to reason is my defense if the woke believes that the people trying to reason with them aren't woke? At any rate, there's moments in situations. It's like shaving coins. Somebody come in on the herd. Momentum inverses square system says it was backwards, and that creates a friction. The friction would be Hawking's heat decay radiation. That would be that glow. Has photon, has W boson in here. She is providing, at the moment, like anybody would, a system that correlates to unit velocity, or beta U, beta V, and an index to velocity, because we described a temperature. We Bernoulli'd it. We said in that XYZ, I posed X. Momentum was A. We know that the value of those things equal to this F1 plus F2 equals minus F1. Once that speed value was integrated into the bits bytes compression of what that system will readjust to in Paris Island's lunch line, if forgiveness would be a necessary model and adjustments of graphing, physics, and calculus. Now, we just pose that to a situation. As a Senate, we can make that decision here. Throw it in there with creating a naked chicken. You make secret ingredient soup. Those are the systems where we need a decision right now about what that system is. This is the surface of Jupiter, hydrogen, superfluid, superconductors. This situation houses things like YBCO. We've put ingredients in such a way and changed temperature housings in a form of thermodynamics where it still stays ones and zeros inside the Kuiper belt here. This guy out there still floating. In black holes, this is still the area the lensing is fixed. I understand the time warp problem in it, and I could graph accordingly, use Jupiter's gravity to go wing it, because energy is never good nor bad. Intrinsically, it is energy. The Hoover Dam broke. I studied to be a civil engineer. What happens next is a 3-phase motor on limitations of police, fire, EMT. Yes, police are EMTs, and you can range the spectrum of 22, 500 Magnum, and a shoulder rifle 22 for distance, and ballistic gel will give you 3 points in triangulation. Is going to start a matrix, and you could say, well, mass goes up, speed goes up, and if those things are known values, then the result of this medium will lens in such a way. But otherwise, that bullet's just going to keep on cruising at FMA at 1 degree differential of flat Earth, flat universe, 1 degree curvature. To generalize the problem, I said the stone mill was about outputs at the end of the day. That's pretty much zero temperature, because it could be 1, 14, 20. I could have a guy that makes 7 and still make profit. It can, but regionally you have to look at really what gravity is. Yes, in an ideal situation, you're going to go to your best crew on your best index. How many, what were you doing at that point in time as a company? And what don't we have in the circumstances here? That's already half the problem. Pi over 2. we're going to take a step back, lens it, go back from here and look into the situation. And, well, that's what we have as close to a function as to it, or do the compression M2MN to adjust GPT-3's output, because that's going to be our standard model. When I bring the book later on of the question of the squeaky, what we should, you haven't been exposed to the information or seen how that might be different from standard model trajectories in this play, you nuke Mars. I mean, you can go, everybody's going to come at me about, well, what about uranium or cost or Russia's war numbers on this, and you factor it down. You say, I'm going to nuke it. I'm going to nuke Mars with Fogg and Carl Sagan, Mike Rowe on San Francisco Bridge. The fog in the morning, what do? You slow down. Accidents go up, minor, major. They don't understand that system because they were speed and should have. And the Great Cloud Effect on 42 is not. Sunshiny day, Lucy in the car, traveling at 45 miles an hour in Penn. Click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube.